How can one person be two completely different artists at the same time? Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating world of Min Yoongi and unpack the two very distinct personas he shares with all of us, the global superstar and the raw, completely unfiltered rapper.
So, on one side, you have Suga, the polished performer, and on the other, Agust D, the raw alter ego. I mean, they seem like total opposites, right? But they come from the exact same brilliant mind. So, what's the deal? Who are they really? And why does this separation even exist?
Okay, so let's start with the persona that most of the world probably met first, Suga, the legendary rapper and producer for, the global phenomenon that is BTS.
As Suga, he's basically the architect. In the studio, he's building the very foundation of BTS's sound with this razor-sharp wordplay and just incredible production skills. His lyrics? They often tap into the group's big message of hope and chasing your dreams, which really makes him a core pillar of their whole musical identity. And to really put his impact into perspective, get this. He's credited on over 100 songs with the Korea Music Copyright Association. Let that sink in for a second. This number alone tells you he's not just a performer. He's a foundational architect of the entire BTS sound.
But that's really only half the story. So now let's flip the coin over. Because this is where things get intensely personal. This is where we meet Agust D, the unfiltered, raw, solo alter ego.
Even the name itself is kind of like a secret code to his origins. It's just Suga spelled backwards, with DT tacked on for Daegu Town. That's his hometown. So right from the jump, he's grounding this solo work in his own personal history. Through his mixtapes and his solo album, Agust D holds nothing back. He confronts subjects that are usually kept in the shadows. We're talking his own battles with mental health, the insane pressures of society, and yeah, the dark side of being world famous. It's a really stark, totally unapologetic contrast.
So you might be wondering, how do these differences actually sound and feel in the music? Well, let's put these two personas right next to each other and see just how deep the contrast goes.
I mean, you can see it right here. It's night and day. As Suga, his lyrics are more universal. They fit perfectly into that polished, often hopeful sound of BTS. But when he's Agust D, everything shifts. The focus becomes intensely personal, and the music follows. It gets way darker, more experimental, pulling from those gritty hip-hop sounds like the aggressive hi-hats of trap and the hard-hitting drums of boom bap.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The man himself said it. It was all intentional. He said, and I quote, "I wanted to be Agust D to show a different side of myself." It's like he needed to create a unique space, a whole other room, for that part of his art to just exist and breathe.
And this brings us to what's probably the most important point. This whole duality thing isn't just a cool gimmick. For Min Yoongi, it really seems like it was a creative and personal necessity. Right, so why go through all the trouble of creating a whole second persona? Couldn't you have just released all this music as Suga?
Well, there are a few huge reasons. First off, artistic freedom. It gave him the space to explore grittier themes that maybe didn't quite fit the polished BTS image. Second, it's a creative playground, a place to experiment with whatever sounds he wants, no constraints. And maybe the most important reason of all, it's like a therapeutic process. It's a way for him to be brutally honest and work through his personal struggles, completely on his own terms.
But here's the really cool part. It's so important to remember that these two personas aren't at war with each other. Actually, over time, they've started to merge, giving us a much more complete picture of the artist. Because at the end of the day, they aren't two different people. They're two distinct but equally powerful parts of one single, integrated artist, Min Yoongi.
And as he's gotten older, he's actually said that the lines between the two have started to blur. It's amazing. You can hear the raw honesty of Agust D bleeding into Suga's verses, and you can feel the slick production skill of Suga elevating Agust D's tracks. We're literally watching this evolution happen in real time.
This whole journey of duality it's a powerful statement on artistic courage, and it leaves us with one last question that goes way beyond music. In a world that so often asks us to just be one thing, how do we find the freedom to embrace all of our own complex and maybe even contradictory sides?